What's poppin'? Christopher Leon Johnson here. So this is a response to Enforce Lawns NYC, aka Unforce NYC on Twitter. So this is a response to the whole situation by Amy Cohen of Famous Safe Streets being a lobbyist, and now you calling people goals and evil and all stuff like that because people are bringing up the point that Amy Cohen is a lobbyist. Now, she might not be registered as a lobbyist, but she does lobbying to get bills to the floor and to get them passed, and at the same time electioneer, while threatening elected officials with primaries and funding of opponents if they don't support ABCD EFG bills. Now, I will never ever negate the fact that she also suffered traffic violence, right? I will never negate that fact. Rest in peace to the kid, right? He lost his life to traffic violence. What it is, right? I'm not going to negate that. I would never. It's like me negating the fact that when kids lose their life to gun violence and the moms go out there and advocate for the kids. I will never negate that. Now, my issue, just like with cure violence organizations, is when these nonprofits, that's like Transportation Alternatives, uses the mothers like Amy Cohen to push agendas that works in the not in the best interest of New Yorkers, not in the best interest of people that live in New York City, not in the best interest of people that live in New York State. Now, it's just like cure violence. You think I really appreciate that these corrupt cure violence organizations that all they now do is give out t-shirts and hoodies, promotes, uses the mothers to exploit their kids' deaths to help push ridiculous gun control laws? No, I don't. We need common sense gun control laws, just like we need real common sense traffic prevention, traffic violence prevention laws that Transportation Alternatives has never accomplished in doing. Let me start with this, right? Transportation Alternatives never goes in front of the Queens DA office and every year or every month or every 6 months or every quarter and pushes for the arrest of that person who hit and ran that person in Queens. I never saw anything, only probably like 1-2 times. But you don't see it every 6 months or every year or every 2 years of calling for Queens DA cats to indict the person for that hit and run in Queens a few years back. Never will. You know why? Because Donovan Richards, who is the Queens Board president, is captain of the Transalt, and Donovan Richards works with Melinda Katz and like Catalina Cruz, Jessica Ramos, Jessica Cocaine Gonzalez Rojas, Senator Janeris, Kristen Gonzalez, Tiffany Caban. Let's say the whole Queens Democratic Party works with Melinda Katz. So to expect Transportation Alternatives to really start pushing for that justice for that victim who passed away a few years back through traffic violence in Queens DA Katz borough, in Queens DA Katz jurisdiction, and Queens DA Katz tenure to be indicted for their crime. I don't think so. You know why? Because TA wants that funding. TA wants that, wants to be on those projects. TA want to have that seat at the table in the Queens Democratic Party, in the Queens government, and Queens politics. So they never call that stuff out. I know why. Now, TA never pushes for real lack of corruption crackdowns. I don't get why is that. You know why? Oh yeah. Wait a minute. Does TA has a member who's a 7-time stalker, who's indicted, who's named in a lawsuit for stalking 7 women, who works for the Queens, who works for the Brooklyn DA's office. His mom's a clerk for the Brooklyn DA, and his dad's a retired cop, Kevin Lachera, who I bet has a PBA card. And Kevin Lachera's daddy was a dirty cop, but he has a PBA card. So you'll never see them push for plaque of corruption because one of their members is a card-carrying family member of the PBA. And we all know that the PBA members, and it's not all of them, because there's some good PBA members, there's some good DEA members, there's some good CEA members, there's some good LBA members, There's some good SBA members. There's a lot of great court officers. There's a lot of great corrections officers. There's a lot of great bridge and tunnels officers. There's a lot of great MTA police officers. There's a lot of great NYPD officers. There's a lot of great cops that has placards and they don't abuse it. Of course, they might have to use it when they need to, but they don't go out there like assholes and abusing the stuff while the same time, hide their license plates, using mechanisms to hide their license plates. Why is that TA won't push for crackdowns of license plate readers, license plate blockers? Oh yeah, because TA, like I said, they have a member in the Transportation Alternatives that is a PBA card carrying family member, Kebla. So they ain't gonna really talk about cracking down on plaque of corruption and real traffic violence, getting justice for traffic violence victims, hit and runs, pushing for Queens DA Cass to indict that person for that hit and run a few years back. She can still do it. Now another thing is TA won't say anything about real protected bike lanes. Now a bullshit painted bike lane is not protected. A real protected bike lane is when you put hard pillar, like hard dividers like you see at construction sites. That's a real protected bike lane. A bullshit paint job on the street is not protected. That ain't protected shit. You know why it's not protecting thing? Because we all know the biggest perpetrators of blocking protected bike lanes are the NYPD, and we all know what happens when we have the members of the NYPD. They go park on the bike lane. Somebody who's a bike bro or a bike douche rides around the street and they see the cop car and they go around it and the cop suddenly pulls up the car saying, now you got a ticket. They won't say anything about that. I don't understand why. But TA loves to say that they're the advocates for New Yorkers. They love to say that they're the advocates for average New Yorkers that ride bikes and pedestrian rights. Now, what's up with real pedestrian rights? They don't really advocate for pedestrian rights. I don't see it. I don't see where they need to start pushing for street lights all over the impoverished neighborhoods. Won't they say that? They won't say anything at all. Because you know why? Because it's not on their agenda, it's not on their budget. There's no votes around there. Why would they vote? Why would they try to advocate for why would they try to advocate in a neighborhood where they won't be appreciated? So that shows how they really care about people that lives in impoverished neighborhoods. Now I live behind here. This is my apartment building right here, 270 Buffalo Avenue, and right you see here on St. Lincoln Place in Buffalo, there's a street sign. Now it took years. It took about like 20 years to get a street sign, a street light, a stop sign here, like a stoplight. 20 years. And I thank Darley immediately for doing that because the council members that was here in my district wasn't really doing anything. But it took 20 years to make this happen. But Transportation Alternatives didn't push this not one bit in my district because it doesn't fit the agenda. It doesn't have no votes. Now with TA, if they don't see any votes that coming out the area, they won't advocate for it unless they have to. Now, let's say it was that kid in Fort Greene, which is what's her district? It's a stupid district. Farrah Stefan Forest district. Now, the reason they advocate in that district is because it's a changing district. Right around there is a development that I was out there that was really being posh about. I respect Brad but I respect him as a man, right? I don't hate Brad Lander. Like, just like NYC Drivers United say, like, yo, Brad, we don't hate you, but if you want to bullshit us, we're going to get your ass every time. But I don't hate you, bro. I donate to your campaign, your election campaign, $100 worth, $119 to your campaign. I don't want that shit back because I believe in you, bro. But we was outside the building, and it's like about 3-minute walk. That's where the kid got killed. A 3-minute walk from that development that we had a press conference in 2022. Transportation Alternative was there. They was there, and a lot of the Worker Fan Party people there. I was there holding the sign. I was on camera, I was on tape. This is whatever. I got the facts. Shout out to TA. Now, shout out to Brad Lander. Shout out to Brad Lander. For that, doing that 421A. Man, but fuck TA. Fuck TA. I'm just going over. But, like, going forward. Now, Brad Lander, like, with that kid, Kamari Hughes. Now, with Kamari Hughes, he's dead, right? And rest in peace to the kid, right? Rest in peace. Fucking horrible how NYPD tow truck agent who's a civilian officer, not even a real cop, civilian. They just wear the uniform, they get benefits, and they're under NYPD moniker, but they're under a different union. I think 230, they're under a different union, not PBA. Hit this kid. She was on a cell phone, and she killed the guy. She killed the kid, right? He was riding his scooter. Now, TA was so quick to go out there with their BS, famous State Streets thing and BS thing, and be out there for the vigil, say rest in peace to the kid. Now, you will never see them go out in front of One Police Plaza or go right in front of the headquarters that where all the tow trucks are at for the NYPD and start pushing for rigorous background checks for tow truck agents. Won't they start pushing for education to these tow truck agents so we know Kamari Hughes? Won't they say, get off the fucking phone? That nothing's worth being on your phone. You learn when you're in driving school. You learn when you're young. When I was young, I don't know how to do these days. That's why all these kids are dying. My days, when I was in school, I didn't drive, but I know every year because they expect us to drive. I can't drive, but they know one day we're gonna drive. Every year, they will show us a video that was done by, I think, was Mad Moms Gets Drunk Driving, right? And all these other safety, I think the new NYC DOT, and telling us that texting and driving is not worth it, right? Texting and driving is not worth it. Calling and driving is not worth it. Doing bullshit while driving is not worth it. It's not worth your life, because once you die, you can't come back. Now, TA will never ever, I don't see it. Can somebody show me what TA is doing with texting and driving on the road? You know why? Because a few of their members do it. A few of their members call on the road, call and drive and call. Put the phone to their neck, to their ear on the road. So they won't do anything like that. That's the problem. They are so hypocrites of what they do, and they refuse to do certain things. Now let's talk about helmets. Let's talk about the helmets, guys. Now, we need to mandate helmets in New York City. I like to wear helmets because I saw this in the movie, right? The Hulk. The movie The Hulk. In the movie, the actor said, like, yo, you have a brain. The reason why you wear a helmet, you know why? Because you have a brain. You have one brain. You have to use it. Some quote like that. I always remember that, and it still continues to this day. Now I gotta go back to my house, but going forward, like I said, helmets saves lives. And the sad thing about it is, Elizabeth Adams, who's the chief lobbyist for Transalt, she registered a lobbyist for Transalt. She laughed at the fact that NYC Drivers Unite called for a helmet mandate in New York City. Now, I could go all day of what TA doesn't do, but what they need to do is start cracking down on certain things. Placard corruption, license plate corruption, educating about drunk driving, educating about texting and driving, and stop exploiting people's deaths for your own benefit. So I'm done with this. I want to get back. I gotta go upstairs. So, it is what it is. I gotta get my key. Oh yeah, fucking with the lights on. Having a bullshit rowdy at 3 o'clock. Come inside, brother. No problem. So, going forward, that's what they need to do. Thank you, bro. Thank you. So that's what they need to do, guys. That's what they need to do. Because if they don't do it, people gonna keep on dying. And that's the fact. But they don't care, because the more people that die, just like cure violence organizations, like these corrupt cure violence organizations, the more people that die, the more money they make with the shooter responses. And I see this a lot. Shooter responses, vigils, balloon toss-ups. That's all they care about, the money. It's all about the money, because they get a lot of government money from the state, the federal, and the local. All over the 5 boroughs, all over LI, all over everywhere in New York State. That's all they care about, the money. It's about the money, guys. So, gotta go. It's all about the money. All they care about is the money. And that's it. So shout out to everybody out there, JQ, Feel Grainy, Enforce Laws, NYC Godmother, everybody. That's all I gotta say. Gotta get him out the house. Took too long with a video. So, God bless you guys. Later. Adios.